Today I have the keys to the Hyundai Veloster N. Huge shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website. They have a ton of inventory, new and pre-owned, to choose from. But this model here is finished off in a very bright blue. It has about 3,800 miles on it with an asking price just under $25,000. But let's go ahead and get into this review by starting up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This model is paired with the 6-speed manual transmission. It puts out about 250 horsepower. If you opt for the performance package, that bumps it up to 275. This also has about 260 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the front wheels. This weighs in just around 3,000 pounds, and it'll do 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds, up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.2 gallons, so you can expect to see around 22 miles per gallon in the city and 29 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 104.3 inches. Its overall length is 167.9. It has a width of 71.3 and a height of 55.1 inches. With all those specs out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the exterior walk around on the Veloster. I'm going to start up front here with the LED headlights and the LED DRLs. They have a really nice design to them just underneath the headlight and the high beam. Of course, we have the turn signal on the inside of the housing. And then looking at the grille now, you can see just how large it is. There's a really nice pattern running throughout it, along with being able to provide maximum cooling for that turbocharged engine. There's also a really nice trim piece on the lower section of it. And then on both sides of the bumper, you can see the red trim accents along with some gloss black. And then on both sides, we have more mesh and a nice cutout to provide better aerodynamics for the car as well. And then up top, we have really nice sleek lines that run down it, finishing off nicely, meeting the grille here. I think it has a really aggressive front end design. It really works with the rest of this vehicle. As you'll see now, we'll go ahead and work our way to the side profile of the Veloster. This has a set of 18-inch wheels. They're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Super Sports, and you can see they have a two-tone design along with a 5-spoke design that has a square pattern to it. I'm really digging the look of that. You can see the red calipers just behind it, more red trim on the lower section of the door. Of course, we have these side mirrors that are finished off in gloss black along with the integrated turn signal. And then you'll notice too on the Veloster, this is a 3-door vehicle. We have 2 doors on the passenger side and then 1 door over on the driver's side. You'll notice too that the front passenger door is much shorter than the driver door on the other side as well, which is just a unique quirk for the Veloster. Gives it a really clean look. You can see there's some contoured lines running down the side. We have a really nice line on the front door and then one just over the rear tires. I think it has a really nice side profile design. It almost looks like a coupe. It kind of has that design to it, and it flows nicely to the rear end of the vehicle. You'll notice up top we have the large spoiler. The third brake light is right in the center, and then the side pieces also have some carbon fiber on it just to give it a really cool look. We have the standard backup camera with your liftgate. This also has LED taillights, and you can see they extend all the way to the spoiler just to give it a more unique look. Along with more red trim and gloss black in the diffuser, you can see there's some more mesh on both sides. And then down below, we have the dual exit exhaust. Now it's time to go ahead and take a look at the interior of the Veloster. With the key in my pocket and the vehicle locked, all you have to do is push on this black button on the door handle, and you can use that to lock the core, of course. But looking at the door panel now, you'll see we have some nice textures running throughout it. Good amount of storage space on the lower section. This has an 8-speaker Infinity audio sound system. You can see all of the window controls. Of course, there's only 3 switches instead of 4. There's also a really nice brushed finish on the release handle too. But now looking at the interior, you'll see down on the door sill, we have the N badge right there. And then looking at these cloth seats, I really like the blue stitching, matches the blue seat belts really nicely. So it's cool to see they've brought that color to the interior with nice subtle touches, which is a really nice design to see. The N badge is up top. We have more stitching running across the headrest. Really good bolstering support as well. And then these are manual seats. So we have recline and incline, along with being able to adjust the height of the seat and then moving the seat forwards and backwards with that bar up front. Moving on to the steering wheel now, you can see it's completely covered in solid and perforated leather, along with having gray stitching running on the inside. Really nice grip on both sides for your hands to go as well. On the right side, we have cruise control buttons, along with different settings that you can go through on the center gauge. You can see your G-force meter, along with vitals for your oil and turbo. And then there's also a lap timer that you can check out as well. And then just underneath that, we have a customizable button. This will turn off your traction control and you can have a little bit more fun with the car. And then over on the left side, you have your voice commands along with your Bluetooth. you can go into a mode button to change the radio, and then underneath that button we have 3 different driving modes. There's normal, sport, and eco, and you will see those change colors both in the center gauge cluster and the center screen. On the left side of the steering wheel, there's a button to control the brightness for the gauges. You'll see 1 air vent. We'll take another quick look at the center gauge cluster. You can see the tach on the left side along with the engine temperature. On the right side we have the fuel gauge and the miles per hour, and then you saw more of those settings right in the center. And then working our way to the 8-inch screen, there's some information that you can go through on here. It is a touchscreen system. If you go to all menus, you can look at your N mode. You have your Bluetooth, your voice commands, and phone. If I go into the N mode, you can look at your performance timer along with your G-force meter, and you have some live readouts for your turbo, your torque, and your power. That is pretty cool to be able to see, especially if you're out on some back mountain roads. You can also see that it is down at the bottom. If you go into my menu, you can add different things here that you'd like to. You can see apps and information. And then on the home screen, you have the radio on the left side, and then when your phone is paired, that will show up on the right. Just underneath that, you can see the hazard button. We have the engine start stop button for the vehicle on the left side, and then you have your power and volume for the radio. And then we have some more settings in the center, so physical buttons for that upper screen. So you have shortcuts to your radio. You can hit the home button and easily get back to this screen along with media and your phone. There's also a star button as well, so you can customize that button to pull up anything that you would like to. Makes it very nice to have. Just underneath that, we have the AC controls. So you have your climate, you can shut it off, some recircs and defrosters. And then down below, there's a USB on one side, 12 volt on the other, along with some more ports right in the center. And then a good amount of storage space right here. You could place your phone or other items. And then moving behind that, as I mentioned earlier, this does have the 6-speed manual. Putting the vehicle into reverse, we're just gonna pull underneath the knob, go all the way up and to the left, and you'll see the backup camera up here with the guidelines, which is very helpful to see. And then of course we have first, second, all the way to 6th gear. There's very nice leather wrapped around the shift boot, along with more of the blue stitching. On the left side of that, we can turn off traction control. You'll see 2 cup holders right in the center, along with the manual parking brake. And then looking at the center compartment, you have a little bit of storage space for anything that you'd like to place there. And then you have a glove box with an ample amount of room. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. Very nice to see the blue seat belts along with the blue stitching. And then up top we have the dome lights along with a sunglass holder. Now it's time to jump into the back seats of the Veloster, and since there's only one door, I'm going to be doing this from the passenger side. We'll just grab the handle up top and you have easy access to hop into the back here. So at 5'10", it's a little bit snug for me, but I can easily get into the back seat. I have plenty of headroom and plenty of leg room. I have about 2 or 3 inches above my head. This is a 4-seater vehicle, so right in the middle we have 2 cup holders and a little bit of storage space behind that. So you definitely have plenty of room. You can see there is a little bit of storage over on the driver's side there, along with 1 speaker. And then on the passenger side here, we have a little bit more room along with the window control and the release handle, of course, and a speaker down in the lower section. These seats also have a 50-50 split, so you can fold one of them down or both of them down, and that gives you a lot more storage space into the back trunk. And last up, it's time to take a look at the rear trunk storage space. I really like where the button is to do this. You can either use it on the key fob or right up underneath the rear wiper blade. You can just push on that button and it will automatically open up. You can see there's a good amount of storage space in here. For a 4-seater vehicle, we have a lot of depth, so you can put in some larger items. You can remove this cover if you'd like to, and then fold down the back seats just to give you a lot more storage. And then up underneath the floor, you can see there's a tire inflator kit along with a little bit more storage space, so you can hide some items up underneath. And then up top, there is 1 grab handle. We can go ahead and close it up. All right, so getting the Hyundai Veloster out on the road now, just in normal mode right now. We'll go ahead and give it a little bit of gas. It's not the fastest car, but even coming around this turn here, it handles really well. I love how light feeling the clutch pedal is, and it's really engaging to get it into the gear you're looking for. It's easy to rev match the downshifts as well. I like the spacing of the pedal box there, so it's really easy to be able to do that. But that was just in normal mode, and this is the first time I've ever actually really checked out this car. So huge shout out again to Cameron at Flow Toyota for letting me check this out. It's a fun, smaller size vehicle like this. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it into sport mode because why not? We'll see if that makes a change in giving it a little bit of gas here. So from 2nd gear, wow. I think you can hear a little bit more of that exhaust. Definitely feels a little bit more peppy in that throttle going from normal to sport. save a little bit more MPG. But aside from the power and driving this car, which has been super fun over the last couple miles here, it's very nice on the inside. But let's go ahead and talk about visibility real quick. It's actually really easy to see in all directions. It's a different feeling to look over your left shoulder versus your right shoulder. Since there's not a door back here, I can easily see out like I'm in a two-doored vehicle, and then I can look over my right side since we have a window. So it gives you a plus in having a little bit more visibility. And then the back glass there, it's pretty small from the outside, but from the inside, I have a clear view as to what's behind me, and I can easily look over my right shoulder to see if there's any cars or anything back there. So for being a small car, there's not really any blind spots, which is nice. But so far, this is a fun little car. I love everything on the interior. I love the blue stitching and these blue seatbelts. Just kind of gives it a little bit more of a sporty look to it. And I also forgot to mention too that the driving mode here, along with the other one that has the checkered flag on it, and some of the trim pieces on the inside here have that same blue texture to them. So that's really cool to see that. And it has pretty much everything that you need. Not a whole lot of buttons going on in the center there, which is nice to see. Everything is laid out well. But so far, this has been a really comfortable and smooth car to drive. I would highly recommend checking this out if you're looking for a car that is in this size or in this class. And it's not all that loud. You can hear that exhaust just a little bit when you get on it, but it doesn't have a crazy loud exhaust. Of course, you could change that. But aside from that, it's been driving very smooth and handles well. Some of these S-curves that I'm going around, nothing crazy, just going at normal speed. And it's handling well for a front-wheel drive vehicle. You could definitely get this out on some back roads. You can have some fun, spirited driving with this, going out to the mountains or something like that, getting back up to speed. Wow. You can feel that turbo jump just a little bit. Brakes do a great job coming around this turn here. Man, I'm surprised with how well it handles. To me, it doesn't really even feel like it's front wheel drive. Just quickly going into reverse, hopefully that camera can see the graphics there. It's very easy, as I mentioned before, to shift through the gears. So one last acceleration for today's video, and we are in sport mode. You can hear that turbo all the way up into 6th gear for the first time today here, just cruising. And it's just like a regular vehicle cruising in 6th gear. We are under 2,000 RPM, around 45 miles an hour. So it's not going to rev really high, and it's going to give you a really comfortable and smooth ride out on the highway. I love these seats. I love the bolstering support to them. I didn't think they were that aggressive just looking at them, but after sitting in this car and taking it around some of these turns, they hold me very well. I really like how comfortable they are. I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the Hyundai Veloster N. Once again, huge shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely check out their website. If you're new to our channel, consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our latest videos. If you enjoyed it, give it a huge thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.